Alright, well, give me a moment while the game takes 5 years to do anything. Alright.
All right. Ready for countdown?
Yeah, I'll do it on go from 3.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, hello everyone, I'm NanachiSR and I'm here running Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Spyro Year of the Dragon any percent. A good way to describe this game is if you take a look at my sweatshirt, it says loading. This game has a lot of kind of long loading screens, and it's been annoying a lot of runners for a while due to how inconsistent they can be. Luckily, we have like loadless stuff in the making and stuff. So the point of this game is to get the main collectibles in this game, which are dragon eggs, since an evil reptilian sorceress ended up stealing 150 dragon eggs from your home world and brought them here to create magic in her world. So our goal in this game is to get them back, or our true goal is really just to defeat her, which requires us to collect 100 dragon eggs. Along the way, I'll be collecting said eggs as well as various gems. I need to collect 2,300 gems throughout the run for this guy named Moneybags, who just kind of mooches off of you the entire time. I'll need to pay him to get to various side areas as well as some of the side character levels I need to access. So, to be able to progress in this game, you need to get a certain number of eggs to enter various levels, as well as you need to collect the end level egg of every level in the homeworld, aside from special ones called speedways. And finishing or getting all of the end level eggs unlocks the boss for that given homeworld. So right now I'm aiming towards a goal of 300 gems to be able to access Sheila's Alp, which will be the first side character level. But in doing that, I need to enter a couple levels. So that was of course Sunny Villa right there. Fairly standard route, just grabbed a few eggs that are sitting in the open as well as grabbing some fairly large gems along the way. Next up, I am going to talk to Hunter up here because I need to start a few text boxes with him. That first set was just to get him to the second island here, because you need to talk to him to be able to get him over to the second island. And if you bring him to the second island and stand there for a little bit, like take a little bit of time to get into Cloud Spires, it will make it so he's still standing out there when you exit the level. So right here is one of the first, or is the first unintended skip. That was me just skipping straight to the end of the level right there, instead of going through this large loop where I would have to pay Moneybags 200 gems, deal with a bunch of enemies and whatnot. You can just do a fairly simple jump. You can really just jump, glide, and hover without doing like any special movement to get over there. But there is like a form of movement that I will be using throughout the run to kind of help out with some of those jumps, which is, I kind of think of it as like charge neutral jumping, because I go from holding the charge button to rolling my thumb to the jump button, which gives you a little bit of charging momentum into your jump, allowing you to have a little bit extra horizontal speed, as well as getting the height of a regular jump over a charge jump. This is a very slow whirlwind. I don't know why they made it so slow in this version. So right here is a special Bell Towers challenge where you get to use one of the various superpowers in this game. This one being Super Fly. There is also Invincibility and the Super Flame power-up. You'll see all three of them once. So right here, I'm going to abuse the Super Fly to get extra speed to get the thief quicker. That thief can be very annoying if you stay on the ground. From here, this level's fairly standard. I have a few like larger gems that I want to grab to be able to make sure that I have enough leaving this level. I like to leave generally around 265 gems. Which at this point, I'll have 267, I'm pretty sure. Which is perfect. That is actually the amount that I exactly like to get. Menuing can be kind of weird in this game. Alright, so that was Cloud Spires. Coming out of here will be a cutscene, then I will talk to Hunter. Queuing up his second set of text boxes, so he will go over to the cave where I can talk to him again, and he will give me an egg. Because I learned how to jump in a platformer or something. Right here, there are 15 gems in these baskets, so they're really good and really quick. There's another 15 right here. There's 300 gems. It's actually the amount that I need. Oh no, I'm over. It doesn't really matter. I need to keep collecting gems throughout the run anyway. I need to collect 300 more gems for the level after this one. But luckily, Sheila's Alp is a fantastic place to get a lot of gems. I'll probably be collecting around 220 or so in here. Well, that's really bad RNG. That enemy, that Rhinoc there, can be in a lot of different places. But he decided to pick like the furthest spot that he could possibly be from where I'd want him to be. If he was right next to the ledge, I would have been able to use a movement tech that you would not get to see anywhere else in the run. Which is a shame because it's like, I mean, it's fairly insignificant since, I mean, I'm only using it once. But it's like this cool little frame saver where you essentially get to buffer a high jump through a kick. So you don't need to go on top of these Rhinoc houses. It's really convenient that you can just kind of scrape their sides and they might destroy it. I don't know why that one didn't work. Cool game, I guess. So right here there's a lot of gems, so I'll make sure to collect a bunch of these. And that was Sheila. Probably the most boring character, most boring side character to play as in this game. Now coming up here, I can explain another small movement tech that I, once again, will only use like once or twice. And it's actually like an animation cancel for the head bash animation. Usually if you just regularly head bash, there will be like this 1 second long wind-up animation. But if you charge first, you immediately start the head bash. And you skip the entire wind-up where you pop up. Instead, you just go straight down. There's one spot that it's not useful, which will be way later. Also, if anyone's wondering, I have a couple of extra cheat codes on just because, and they don't affect the run at all. I have sunglasses on, of course, but I also have tiny wings on, just because I think it looks kind of funny. Also, don't try that movement I just did there, unless you're like used to running this game. You can very easily destroy yourself going off of going and trying to attack that guy after the first egg. Because there's a very weird thing with eggs in this game. They lock your movement directions based off of the direction Spyro is facing instead of the direction that the camera is facing. Meaning that sometimes your inputs will be completely mirrored, and it can be very confusing where you're going. And it usually fixes itself after around like 2 seconds. My flame didn't register there. Need to actually talk to this guy twice because I missed talking to him the first time. Here's a nice little optimization on this thief here. Ah, crap. I messed it up. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Another 20 gems down here, so grab those and get out. Now, I said before that the only levels that you need to enter are the ones that are not speedways. But the next level I'm actually going to enter is a speedway for a couple of reasons. One, there is a fast egg. One of the eggs is very quick in the level, and the other one gives you 400 gems. And I need those 400 gems for unlocking Sergeant Bird later, which costs 700 gems. So I will be coming in here doing the time attack, as well as a special secret challenge, which I'm really hoping I don't mess up. It's a very hard challenge to do. Most of this time attack is pretty simple. The only really annoying part ends up being the butterflies that you might have seen at the beginning. We get them from the opposite direction that they're moving, and because of the controls while you're in midair, it becomes a little strange to be able to claim the butterflies. You might start overcorrecting and it becomes really bad really fast. That was really good, actually. It also rounded. It gave me a different number than what I end up getting at the end. Alright, this is the hard thing I was talking about. Were you watching, Wolfer? I blame you.
Looks like. Look.
We have this thing where every time Wolfer watches me do this, I apparently end up failing it. I'll see about getting him in a moment. So yeah, if you can't tell, it's very awkward to move that, And it's pretty hard to actually do that optimally. The route was discovered very quickly into the game coming out, but it's still not easy. The next level coming up is the first one with like an actual glitch in it. It's not a heavy time saver, but it looks cool at least, so how's that going for it? It's actually a weird thing entering this level. It spawns you just above the water first, meaning that it like plunges you down into the water from some unseen spot first, which can have some weird effects if you end up timing your inputs just right. Okay, so up here there's this barrel throwing guy. And really what I care about is barrels. So I'll get squashed by this one, mash X, and then it'll just clip me through the wall.
Oh, hi,
If you walk towards that corner, get squished, keep walking forward and mash X, you pretty much clip through the wall every single time. It's really nice that it's actually that easy to do. It was really convenient for messing around with the game. Sadly, in messing around with the game, we found strangely little, but like that's the thing with this game. This game is actually fairly broken open in terms of just like being able to mess with random things, but none of it is useful. So we're just kind of stuck hoping that we find like one more small thing. Crap. That's actually a pretty precise jump, so I'm not too upset that I missed it. So this is what I would call one of the worst challenges in the game. Mostly because underwater movement is kind of awful in this game. If you notice, I kind of like bounce off of the walls, and it doesn't function the way you'd want it to. You just feel like you're constantly drifting down the tunnel.
Oh.
Coming out of this level, there's actually like a 1 second time saver or so. Originally, when you finish the last level of a hub, the character that ends up leaving the level ends up greeting you. And you just teleport to the thingamahoosit, whatever object you are at, that will send you to the next homeworld. But instead of actually teleporting over, I decided to just glide past this trigger and go over manually because it is slightly faster. Since whenever it teleports you, you get frozen for like a good 1 or 2 seconds. Welcome to Annoying Boss Fight.
When I heard.
As you might be able to tell with a name like Annoying Boss Fight, this boss fight is annoying. There's like a few strats involving Buzz. At the start there, I actually like kind of manipulated him into jumping a certain direction so that I knew where he'd be. I was not supposed to get squashed there. It's actually really inconvenient. I want to exit this level or exit this boss with green sparks. And when the strats involve you damage abusing off of him, it kind of stinks. So I need to get a shield for the third phase. So as you can see, a lot of what the strats involve are, of course, just getting him to the edge as fast as you can. And then trying to manipulate him to finish his, or to reach a wall with his buzzsaw attack as fast as possible. Because as soon as you make him hit a wall with a buzzsaw attack, it causes him to immediately hightail it to whatever spot he wants to end at. Just getting him out of his invincible stage as quick as you can. Entering Midday Gardens, there is a text trigger that I'm going to try to skip. I'm honestly fairly bad at this one, so I won't be surprised if I miss it. It's also not too much time. It's like maybe 4-5 seconds if you end up hitting it. But I'm going to charge jump and glide over to the left here. Good. Dodged it and got the 5. So if anyone's wondering what the last requirement I have as far as gems is, the last thing I'm going to be paying for is for Bentley's Outpost in Evening Lake. And that is 1,000 gems. Which means I just have 2 payments left. So Enchanted Towers in recent time has actually gotten a decent few like tiny improvements. So a lot of small optimizations, mostly in the skateboarding minigame, because we actually do that. There's also another thing. You can just charge there. There's just this large patch of ground for some reason on the right side of that building. And it allows you to skip dealing with the enemies in that room, saving a couple seconds. So to finish this level, I had to fire all 3 of those rockets to break down the statue. And I needed to break that anyway, because I'm going into the side area that opens up, which is the skateboarding area. So at first the skateboarding area was fairly, like, fairly slow, fairly, I guess you could say relaxing. But now there's been, like, quite a few improvements to it that have made it a lot more technical. Man, I don't want to do this challenge. You know what? I'm just gonna give up. Oh, hey, nice. Nice, thanks. So in the original game, you actually had to sit through that entire challenge and make sure that you had enough points to beat Hunter. He would get like 2,300 points every time, and you would just, if you were a speedrunner, you'd get that in like 1 or 2 tricks, and you'd sit there for like a really long time, so it wasn't done in the 100 egg category for that game. But in this game, you're able to just give up as soon as you get more points than he ever gets, which is around 3,000 in this game. So you get over 3,000 and you just give up and he gives you the egg. Ooh. I'm happy I did not hit that. I don't know why I defaulted to pausing there. There's a few more optimizations in this level as well as a couple of unintended skips. There's a lot of unintended things actually in this game as a whole that are just like things that are slightly out of reach that are in reach for speedrunners, because if you do things with tight enough inputs, it just works. So what I was going for there was a damage, or crap. The TNTs there can actually break down the wall if they're close enough, and I was trying to get close enough with the first one. That didn't work. So I tried the second one that was close enough, and that didn't work either. So that was cool. This room has a lot of gems in it, so I will be grabbing a lot of gems in it. I'm breaking that because I will be going up there right now. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Usually you have to go all the way to the end of the level to be able to reach this area. And there's one more skip, and this one's a bit harder. Nice. This game has this wonderful feature where it will, if you try to hover too early off of a glide, it will just drop the hover. And that's what happened right there. Second time it worked fine though. There, that time it actually broke. Nice. And I'll go down here. So, a lot of people have trouble with these in casual play, but that one is really just sitting there for you, so, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't attack him. This one, he walks into you, so I don't know what the problem is. Now, I need to make sure not to be constantly meshing when I exit this area, because there's some like specific frame that if you end up hitting the triangle button, which on the PS4 version skips the cutscenes, so why, if you're an Xbox user, if you end up like hitting it on the right frame, you will not be able to skip this cutscene. Oh, hey, looks like we're watching this cutscene. So yeah, that's cool.
Shoot.
Yeah, cutscene. Woo! At least this cutscene's alright, but Bob, please fix your game. No, Bob tried really hard, but
You're kidding, right? She nearly toasted
you know,
Yeah,
when I'm having this issue of where I, you know, practically throw my controller on the floor and nothing happens, makes me a little upset. Luckily, still at the moment, this game goes by in-game time, and cutscenes are counted in in-game time. So, technically speaking, this is perfectly fine. Having this happen to you does help you remind, or does help remind you how long this cutscene is, though.
I can look after myself.
Oh, sure you can.
And I always forget until I watch this, and I'm so happy the game likes to remind me on occasion.
Out of magic, huh? How about I give you a jump start?
I'll deal with you later.
Hey, why Why'd you have to scare her off?
Thank you, video game, for allowing me to move again. Wow, I have so many gems. I think I'm like 40 over what I usually have. Now we will enter next side character area. Now, Sergeant Bird is a very weirdly moving character. It controls very strangely, but at the same time, it's not bad. It's just different. The more noteworthy thing is his homing missiles, which are absurd. I've actually had times where I aimed at something, the missile will miss to like the left or the right, and it will veer around, do a complete 180, and hit the enemy from the back. Which, in the original game, would never happen. Okay, good. I just wanted to get those. Very short level. They're only, I could say every homeworld in this game has 5 eggs. Every main character level has 6 eggs. Every side character level has 3 eggs, and every speedway has 3 eggs. And then there's also Sparks levels, which you don't see in this category, which have 1 egg each. And bosses have 1 egg. So most of the time, or actually I think Sergeant Bird is the only side character that we don't end up getting all of their eggs, just because one of his eggs is way longer than the other 2. So this is a very short level if it goes well. This jump here can be a bit annoying. Well, at least I landed back on land. Okay. There's something weird about the, there's something weird about, like, that edge there. There's kind of like a rounded bit to it that just causes you to get stuck and fall down instead of actually letting you do something productive, like speedrunning. Oh, wait, no, that's not productive. So yeah, we just come in here for the eggs that are sitting there and leave, because the other ones involve you sitting, looking at something for a while, and then maybe hitting a thing. Actually, that's a very good description for pretty much every egg in this game. I was exiting Sergeant Bird again for a second. Right, so right here we'll... Shut up, Zoe. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go fast. I'm sorry. Alright, so I'm gonna aim at this basket here, and I'm going to activate this egg cutscene here. So I wanted to set that up in that order to make sure I grabbed the egg up on that ladder and then was teleported back near Bamboo Terrace since I needed to come back here. After this level, you'll actually see me warp back to a previous level. I'm going back to Molten Crater since I actually bought Sergeant Bird now. And he has an egg that is insanely quick. It's like I think in-game time it's like a 15-second detour or something. And when we have a loadless timer come out, it's still probably going to be like 15 seconds. So it's going to pretty much always be worth it. Yeah. Game was taking over my controls. Usually you're supposed to help out all the pandas that are being attacked there, but you can just kind of skip that and not care. I like not caring about things personally. Except for gems, I need gems. So the last egg we'll be getting here is this thief that is up on the bridge here. But we have a really nice setup for him. So you come down here to avoid his trigger, we activate him by the bridge, and then we just flame him. He just kind of walks right into you, and it's very convenient. So now you'll get to see truly like how quick of a detour this actually is. In the original game, you were actually able to skip into this side area, so you got to do this on the first visit. But this game, they patched it out, so you have to actually come back. Yep, that's all I came here for. Time to go. The other egg back there is really slow. Next up is, there are 4 10-gem baskets to the left of me when I spawn in, and then I'll be heading to the second boss. The rocks, Spike. Really, Spike is the easy part. The hard part is actually hitting the rocks on the first phase into him. So I like to say that the rocks are the boss. You see, when you have a game that is new and you have 3D models that are very spherical, and you try to hit a spherical model against another spherical model, you'll have things go in random directions for no reason. And these rocks have that issue. They also have a thing with floating in the air, I guess. Yeah, there. That was great. Thank you for letting me show off the video game. He's gonna hit that. Why'd I get damage from that? Alright, boss is done. Now it's time to fight Spike. This fight actually has like a little bit of RNG with like where Sergeant Bird goes, but a lot of it can be mitigated really just by following him best you can. Like aside from the rocks there, that was a pretty standard fight. For some reason, they did not develop that walking animation to the whirligig there too well. So almost every time Spyro will get confused, he will stop on his way there, and then the game will just kind of lift him and take him over to the whirligig. If you're mashing buttons by the egg, you won't move at all, and then the game will slowly take you to the whirligig. I have actually a fairly hard trick in the next level, but I'll bring that up more when it comes time. Okay. I don't think I needed that help, but it's kind of nice to have. I like to feel safe. So you might be thinking, wow, you said you need 1,000 gems. You seem kind of low. And my answer to that is Charmed Ridge exists. Charmed Ridge is a level that there are a lot of spots that there are practically no gems, but there are also a lot of spots with pretty much half the gems in the level, such as one head bash container that has about 80 inside of it. So I think we get like 300 gems in that level. We get like 100 or so in Lost Fleet. And we get maybe like 75 here or so. So I should be on pretty good track. Oh, nice. I did not mean to do a head bash there. So I'm grabbing this rocket, not for him. I'm actually grabbing it for this because that has some okay gems in it. Right, here's the trick that I was bringing up. Let's see if I get it. Shoot. Shut up, handle. I don't care. Alright, there we go. That damage boost can be a little troublesome sometimes. I really like that you can't skip that cutscene until Greta beats the living crap out of that one ninja. And then it allows you to skip. Yeah, wow, I'm way over. I might be able to skip the head bash container after Charmed. The level I'm entering now, Lost Fleet, is entirely... I don't know if I like to say escort mission. I guess it's technically considered one because I have to guide this guy through the level. But at the same time, he hauls it. He's very quick. Generally to the point that he beats me to the end of the level. Ah! Okay, we're fine. I would really like having health, but that's fine. I have to be precise about my movement, though. That still wasn't too bad, though. I'm actually impressed about how well I grabbed those gems. It is very awkward to move in water in this game. Where's there a fodder in Charmed Ridge? Aside from the butterfly jars that waste time. Actually, there was a frog to the right of me. Could have gotten that. Oh well. I want to say the first fodder I usually see in the level is a frog in the side area, which is way further than I want.
Spyro.
So I'm just going to do this. I really want to have sparks in this level, because this level is really nice for gems.
Spyro.
That guy is really scary. He can easily mess up your day. Right, so originally we actually did have to pay for money bags in this level until somebody found this wonderful skip, which just allows you to skip that payment. That was really weird. I've never been pushed by that column to get up there. Take it. There's something neat about the knights that are outside on that hallway, or on like that platform. 2 of them actually died right there from like running off the edge, which is why I had 2 5 gems pop up out of nowhere. Am I making this cycle? No, I'm not. You have to waste very little time aiming to really make that cycle. This side area actually has some pretty nice optimizations to it. You can barely make it onto these mushrooms from the ground by jumping, gliding, and hovering. And then you can also charge out of that to be able to... Or usually, if you try to just bounce off of the mushroom, the game will delay your ability to glide, which can make it very hard to make it to platforms that you want to get to. So you can actually just charge out of the first bounce, and it fixes it for you. Alright, that's actually the hard jump in all of this. So I'm happy that went fine. So this is the head bash container I mentioned before that has a lot of gems in it. There's like a 10, 2 5s, and 2 25s in there. Movement is being awkward. I was actually making sure to mash slowly there too, because if you hit triangle in the right frame there, you actually soft lock. Like, up to the point that you have to close the game, reopen it, and then redo the entire level. So luckily that problem did not happen. Also, I'm getting to skip a lot of things out of this level. Except my boy, the whale. If you make it to that whale at the perfectly wrong time, it will actually glitch out his AI, and it will cause him to just like spaz out, up to the point that you can actually bring him to specific areas, and you can use his freaking out to clip out of bounds. Also, I need to not move during that egg. I keep thinking that I have the inputs down finally for that, and I don't. Right here is a particularly tight jump. I don't think this is making it. No. That's fine though. This jump is actually pretty difficult. Alright. Over gem by 3. I'm gonna see if I can get a strat in this level. There's a certain cycle that I'm going to be trying to make. I haven't actually been able to get it yet, though, so let's see now.
If you...
If you talk to Bartholomew during when the cutscene starts, you can actually just walk during the cutscene. Usually you can't. Okay, thanks game. I was trying to hit the snowball into the second seal, but it just decided to send the snowball in not the direction I wanted to go. I have to wait for Bartholomew, so. Good. Oh, what the? Nice box. So as I said before, I am no longer shackled to gems. The ones that I grab are purely in the way. Which means I'm able to do a bunch of extra strats that are way quicker instead of doing some things that are slightly slower because they're closer to gems. So this is a unique level. The game at the start of this level gives you an ice breath instead of a flame breath,
Well,
meaning that you, of course, freeze enemies instead of actually, like, burning them. So you can use them as blocks and skip over things in the level by doing so. It's a pretty precise jump. Nice. Okay. That's a nice new feature with this game. If you glide into a wall in this game, not in that sort of way. Also, that was amazing. I don't usually mess that up. If you glide into a wall in this game, you will just bonk into the wall, and it is kind of aggravating. In the original game, you would usually just like start to flop instead of bonking, causing you to lose height faster. Welcome to the most intense battle in the entire game. No joke. Yep, I like to call this Rock'em Sock'em Robots. No, this is Rock'em Sock'em Robots speed. So the strategy. Thank you. I'm doing another one though. Round 2. Thank you. This is very hard. So, as you might be able to guess, the strategy is face punch him until the game allows you to throw another punch, and then you gut punch him, and then you just repeat that over and over again. It gives him barely any room to be able to do anything to you, and it consistently allows you to get pretty decent times. In the original game, it was really tough to be able to finish the second fight in 1 round, and typically in this game, you can finish it pretty easily with 15 seconds left. Oh, nice ledge. That snowman is really scary, honestly. He has a pretty large range, and if you're even standing over the gap, he will grab you sometimes. Actually, most of the time. We go into the guidebook there and warp out because it puts you closer to the rocket ship. So it saves a few seconds. Coming up next is the worst boss in the game. It is RNG. That's not his name. His name is Scorch. But most of the fight is hoping you get the color red. Whether that's his fireball attacks or Bentley actually giving you the right color of rocket. Unless you're going for a special thing at the end of the fight, then you actually want a green. Which I might go for just for the heck of it. That part's a stack of really bad RNG on top of this already kind of bad RNG fight. Luckily there's some things to help mitigate some of the problems. Such as staying really close to Scorch to make it so you can hit him with pretty much any attack. Alright, Crab. You do you. So yeah, if you just like stand really close to him and spam red rockets, the fight is hopefully trivial, but he was being a bit of a meanie face, so. I think there was one left, and that's why I was taking him a bit to decide. This is what you want him to do. You want him to throw fireballs, and then you want to just keep going at him. Dang it, Bentley. I needed Bentley to actually start throwing out something right when the fight was ending there, and I wanted it to be specifically a green rocket, because right after the boss kill, like black screen happens, the game does a check to make sure you, to see if you have a power-up, and then it removes it. So then afterwards, if you get Bentley to throw something at just the right time, there will still be a power-up after that check is already done. So you grab that power-up, get the egg, and then you're able to take the power-up outside of the fight, allowing you to do a skip that saves quite a bit of time in Crystal Islands. The problem is that, one, you need to have decent timing and hope that Bentley is being nice and starts to throw something, and you also need him to throw specifically a green rocket because it doesn't work with the red ones.
Spyro.
So now I have to do the slower route for Crystal Islands, but that's not too big of a deal. So I will start explaining something special involving this game. A special movement tech that's only in the second and third Reignited Trilogy game, and it is called Rolling in Air. So there's a special property with water, where water in this game is a three-dimensional object, and it expects you to enter it from the top. If you enter it from the side, the game gets confused, essentially. And it will give you this really weird property if you end up exiting a level during it. So hopefully this goes alright. I'm gonna try something here, see if it ends up fixing something. So I'm gonna be going around here, and there's this water plane here that I can enter from the side. Now I'll be exiting the level. And if anyone's wondering what I'm even, like, doing this for, I will actually explain it after I show the glitch off in the first place. So now I should hopefully have a kind of interesting property that, as I called it before, roll in air. As you saw right there, I was floating in the air, and I just rolled back into the level. And that is because the only way I can move right now is by rolling. And the way you move around with this is you roll left or right, and right now I'm stuck with a weird version where you have to move the camera, which is very awkward, but manageable. So yeah, the game just allows you to just float around wherever you want, and you use collision to be able to increase or decrease your height. Right there, I use that to skip a moneybags payment in particular, because I need to pay another 1,000, and oh, nice. I was aiming for an invisible floor there, and I missed it. So rolling in air there is used to skip paying moneybags there, which costs 1,000 gems, which, as you might guess, leaving and re-entering the level is still faster than collecting 1,000 gems. There, that was the invisible collision I was aiming for. Nice basket. I don't know why it cut my momentum. And I will actually be getting... I'll be getting roll in air again from that same spot after I exit this level, because I want it for Haunted 2. Haunted Tomb as a whole is a very awkward level, casually going through it. You have to deal with pushing buttons to open doors, and one room in particular is very tight in the timing to be able to get to the door. So it is really nice just being able to roll in air to be able to get through it. So I will be running over there now to get roll in air one last time. Now, I brought up roll in air saying that it's like this special thing, and it's not really that special in 3, but in Spyro 2 it made an entirely different category. Originally, any percent was a category that you got 40 orbs in it, and then you were able to legitimately beat the game, but now you only need to collect 14 talismans to be able to beat the game, because you can just skip into the final boss with roll in air. So it created an additional category that cuts off like 20 minutes of the run or something. So I'll actually be getting rid of this property pretty quickly. The reason you use it here is, actually just skip to the end of the level. There is a different skip to the end of the level. It's just insanely difficult, up to the point that it's not really worth it in runs at the moment. And this is a far easier compromise that only loses a little bit of time compared to it.
The bridge.
Oh hey, my color's gone. I'm purple again. Oh wait, I was already purple. Ah yes, my favorite animation.
You may now end. That. I am a. I would.
It's a very easy slide skip right here, where you just avoid the trigger that starts the slide. Luckily, it's like quite a ways down the slide there, so it's pretty easy to just jump before it happens. Oh nice, I dodged the Anubis. I don't think I've ever actually been able to do that. Outside of this level is the last thief I actually have to take down in the game. I'll be doing it with a somewhat unique strat. Nice. I'm actually not too good at that still because it's pretty new. Right at the start of this level is what I tend to find one of the most annoying skips in the entire run. I wouldn't call it a run killer because every time you screw it up doesn't really lose much time. It's like maybe 2 or 3 seconds. But it requires some pretty precise inputs. Alright, second try is good. I'm fine with that. Sometimes I'll be sitting there doing that for like a good 30 seconds to a minute. Just trying to jump up there, and it gets me really angry. Don't really want to take the time to go all the way around, so I can just damage boost up here. Ah, video game. Pick what direction you want me to go. That jump is luckily barely possible, so I can grab that egg without once again going around. What?
Is this an okay time for a donation?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. The original Xbox donates $17. There's no comment, but that donation has met the goal for the Silly Stuff Showcase incentive for Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. So thank you for that.
That should be an amazing skate adventure.
I hope so.
I would imagine. That was not the movement I wanted to do there, but I absolutely destroyed that lizard. I can assure that. Shoutouts to my PB where I died from getting sniped by that guy. A lot of the spacing and assets for this area are very similar to the original, and with Sheila's new momentum and movement, it makes some of those jumps really weird and cycles really off. So when you've been used to running the original Spyro 3 for years like I have, and you move on to the remaster and you have that, it's really jarring. Actually, this entire game is jarring for somebody that was in that situation. This is the one egg that I never want to move after because it's just in a very scary position where you have to hit a very small target to the side of you just right for it to work. Or just right for you to be able to actually take the whirlwind. So, if somebody wants to find a precise input on the controller, go ahead. I don't really feel like bothering though. So this is the last level I'll be entering, since I just need to get 3 more eggs. Okay, that was fine. I need to remember to kill that guy in the future. So coming up here is what I find the scariest spot in the entire game as far as enemy placement is concerned. If you don't jump immediately here, even if you jump, I guess, you get destroyed sometimes. Nice. What are iframes? What was that? Well, that was Dino Mines. Now we get to go and fight Saki D. Or what I would like to say, watching me try to handle vehicles that I never have to use in a video game. Overall controls for vehicles in this game, I would say, are shoddy at best. And when you are playing against a boss who I sometimes feel like cheats, it becomes a little irritating. Yeah, I'll be like 2 or 3 minutes stuff, but oh, hey, Agent 9, when did you get there? Who are you, actually? Why'd I even bring up your name? That's the last guy I was supposed to free, but I already have enough eggs, so I didn't actually need to save him. Okay. First phase was a little slow, but that's alright. It's really the UFO phase where it gets kind of awkward. Can I get a tank, please? Thank you very much. Alright. 1 phase left. If this goes right, this should be pretty quick. Nice shoes, mid-attack. That was really convenient. Alright, one last hit. Time. Now, I'm going to check the in-game time real quick, because that's something that we like to do in this game. What was the RTA deal? Oh, RTA was 114. Nice.
Yep, 114.15 RTA.
So, I want to guess this was like a 43 IGT or so? A mid 43. World record is a 41:12 IGT by me, so 42:25. Not bad at all. I'm actually pretty happy with that. What? I have the record. This is like a minute off.
Yeah,
that
a
was
minute
pretty
off and an hour 15-minute run in a marathon setting. That's very good.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Midwest Speedfest / Midwinter SpeedSprinter. Whichever phrasing needs to be gone by right now.
Thanks for coming.
I'd like to give a shout out to a bunch of my friends back in Sprash. Y'all are neat. Nah, actually, you are a lot of cool people. So happy to have met you all. Thanks, Woofer, for coming with me to this event. And once again, thank you for letting me be on here. That was Spyro, Reignited Trilogy, Spyro 3 any %.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us here. Up next, we got Pikmin by the Oblivinator, so stay tuned for that.